This is by far the longest session I think I've done. I started this at 6. It is 10:41 now. I did this for 4 hours.
そうよね。だとしたら一体
As Yumiko's face fills with questions, a light drop a hand onto the ground of her head. And that's why JB and I arranged a few things behind the scenes.
ユージと原寺さんは一体どのぐらい前から
Since right after our initial escape.
そんな前からだったの
1 year ago, Yumiko and I chose to flee together. At the time, I said we were going to look for an answer, not just run away. And just as those words might suggest, I began a quiet search from the shadows, seeking a way for Yumiko to earn genuine freedom.
というわけで、現在の反主流派にはこのようなメンツがいるわけです。
I see. With a little prodding, you really might stand a chance. To eliminate the problem posed by Sakaki Michikaya, we need only deprive him of power. It didn't take long for me to reach that simple conclusion, but as a fugitive, we only have a few students for allies. There didn't seem to be a particular way of making it happen. That changed surprisingly enough with a fruitive proposal from JB. Michigaki had meddled directly in Michikaya's internal affairs in this matter, inspiring widespread resentment. Certain higher-ups had directly authorized an attempt to arrange his dismissal. That's the thing. You missed with literally the prize dog, who's literally in charge to clean up people's messes like yours. So, you poked the wrong bear. However, JB was in frequent contact with Michigaki as our liaison. It was too dangerous for her to take any direct action. I was assigned her direct subordinate, a woman named Chihara, to assist in planning the coup.
現在はまだ過半数に達していません。今後は敵に気づかれないように協力してくれる勢力を増やしていくことが必要となります。
Right, I already explained the matters to the others at the dorm. Go ahead and get in contact with them as well. To our extreme good fortune, there was already JB that called a hostile internal power operating inside the East Beach ownership, and it didn't prove difficult to make them into our allies. In any case, we carried our complex preparations forward carefully but steadily, aiming to arrange a day of reckoning. Not that I mentioned any of that to Yumiko at the time. Not too long ago, we finally managed to secure a majority from the opposition faction. I take out my cell phone and hold it up for Yumiko to see. You know how we hide out for a few days before coming here?
このことに関係していたの
Just stalling for time while our allies called an extraordinary general meeting agenda is pretty simple. A resolution for a certain board member's dismissal.
解任動機
That's right, we're going to have Ichigaki removed from the board of directors.
取締役を秘めつまりそれが成立すれば代表でもなくなるということ
Exactly. You can't be the representative director of a stock company, it's president, if you're not even a director. I snap open my cell phone and type out a series of digits. The same number Yumiko called from a public telephone about a week ago, in a verge of giving up hope. Same call that nearly meant our defeat, but this time, it's a declaration of war. In response to Michikaya's surly greeting and firmly included announcing himself, this is Kazumi Yuji. From the other end of the line, the man audibly catches his breath. All of a sudden, Michikaya shifts into an entirely different gear. There's obvious tension in his face. I'm inside the prison you built. After considering this for the briefest of moments, Michigaya responds. Oh, you're good at guessing games, but then again, I suppose that wasn't too much of a leap for you, was it? That's right, she's standing right next to me. If you want her back, come to Mihami Academy dorm at 10 tomorrow morning. We'll talk then. I don't see any reason I should answer that question. But in general, Sakaki, I encourage you to tread carefully. I abruptly end the call, not bothering to answer Michani's question. Yumiko's still staring at me in slack-jawed astonishment. I turn to face her and deliver a reassuring little thump on the shoulder. There, we got our actors and our stage. Now it's just a matter of waiting for the curtain to rise.
Oi! Kotaero! Oi! Oi! 私だ。今から社へ向かうぞ。ああ、そうだ。由美子の件で動きがあった。それと、市ヶ谷へ緊急連絡を回せ。すぐにだ。そうだ。アルデラだ。あのスパイ女を陸将補経由で連れてこい。明日の総会、そこに絡んでくる可能性も出てきた。逃げられる前に急げ。わかったな。
After completing our thorough explanation for Yumiko, we begin a final review of our plans for tomorrow. Yumiko and I will handle the actual discussion with her father. Everyone else, focus on gathering information. Sachi, I'd like you with us at a point of contact in case something we need to know about happens. Michiru, can you patrol the area starting early tomorrow morning and keep an eye out for any suspicious movement?
Okay.
I like it. Okay. Alright, we're gathering in the lobby at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Same goes there, any sign of movement before then. Let's finish the job, everyone dismissed. With that, everyone except Yumiko nods and gets to their feet. Since we've been preparing for this in advance, there aren't any questions or objectives now. All that's left is to assume our roles and see how it all plays out tomorrow. Yumiko calls out to stop us, and the others turn back to face her.
私、急な話です。まだ理解できてない部分も多いけど、みんなが今回のことで私のために動いてくれたってことがよく分かった。本当にごめん。
Just as the words about to start, leave Yumiko on and raises a hand to interrupt.
そこは謝るんじゃないでしょ。そんな答えじゃお兄ちゃんに怒られるのよさ。はい、謝られるようなことはしていませんよ。私たち。そうそう、謝るぐらいなら後でお礼言ってもらった方がいいわよ。
Yumiko looks at everyone's face in turn. Her expression will still shadowed with guilt.
まだお礼を言われるにも早いんだけどね。ひとまずこの一件が終わったらみんなでゆっくり話しましょう。
そうさ。
みんな榊さんと仲良くなる前に離れ離れになっちゃったから、これからね。
Even after her classmates leave, a conflicted expression lingers on Yumiko's face. You see a complex mixture of gratitude, guilt, and anxiety in her face, in her eyes. On the whole, it would be fair to say the girl is still somewhat unsettled at the moment. It's hard to blame her after how repeatedly her events developed in the last few hours, but it was somewhere else she's going to have to confront the thing that's been holding her back all this time.
Yuji, もう寝ちゃった?
Yeah, having trouble sleep. I decided to have Yumiko sleep in my room tonight for security reasons, if nothing else. It's been a while since we turned off the lights and we got in bed, but there's no hint of drowsiness in her voice.
本当に勝てると思ってる?
Her uneasy words echo inside the dark, quiet room. If If I didn't, I never would have asked you that question in the first place. Yeah, compared to risking everything on a thoughtless bet, running away and keeping our heads down would have been the clearer choice, much less risk involved. I hear clothes rustling shortly on Yumiko's side of the bed. We've been laying down with each other's backs against each other, but it sounds as if she turned to face me.
ごめんなさい。あなたはいつも考えているものね。
She pauses for a moment, then sighs
あなただ
softly.
けじゃない。寮のみんなにしても、私のためにずっと長い間頑張ってくれて、それに対して私は何一つとして役に立てていない。こうしてお膳立てしてもらっても、未だに不安でいっぱいで、逃げ出したくなってしまう。
Yumiko, don't you remember what I told you at the very beginning? I was pretty clear about this when I coaxed you out of that airplane. Nobody needs your guilt or apologies. Try gratitude. All you have to think about now is breaking away from your father in the Sakaki house. Once you get your freedom, once you show your appreciation to the people who helped you, that's all the repayment we need. Of course you will. You made your own decisions for the last year. Yumiko, you've grown. I have a little confidence in yourself.
そうよね。スオさんにも言われたしね。せめてちゃんと返せるように。
My words seem to have at least some effect as Yumiko mumbles vaguely encouraging words to herself. There's another rustling sound from the other side of the bed. She seems to have turned away from me once more. It's not like I am absolutely confident of our chances myself, and I'm sure as hell I'm not qualified to be pompously preaching at Yumiko like this. The words I spoke just now were directed to myself as much as her. I tend to persuade a coward to stand and fight for once in his life.
お願いがあるの。
For too long, Yumiko speaks to me again. Sure, go ahead.
泣き言を言ったりはしない。みんなのためにも、ユウシのためにも、自分のためにも、あの人に立ち向かう。
She hesitates for a moment, then continues
そう
slowly.
いうことは思いたくない。
Oh my god, my cat.
もう明日しかないから。見てほしい。
I'm coming, cat. Got that settled.
もう一度だけ確かめたいの。あなたが、ユウシがかけがえのない大切な存在だって。確かめたいの。
I leave to put my cat outside and then I come back to this. This time I'm the one who flips over in bed. Yumiko trembles slightly, even from behind. It's obvious that she's forcing herself to be brave. First, I gently place a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Understood. Just promise me one thing first.
何かしら。
Promise me you won't think of this as the last time. We're going to be together for the rest of our lives, alright? That's a promise. Don't even let yourself think otherwise. Yumiko's back shivers again, just a little. She sniffles once before responding, then I think I'll pretend not to notice the hint of suppressed tears in her voice.
ユウシ。分かった。
That nice violin music. I don't really enjoy violin music all that much, but music like this, the subtle kind, Not the high choir one. Sweet Jesus, those hurts my ears so much. I have really sensitive hearing when it comes to sound. Not when I'm asleep, though. When I'm awake, yes.
抱いて私を飲み込むくらいに
Works for me. If not, I slip my arms around her. And because this is the old age version, we will never show you it. Even after we thoroughly confirmed our mutual feelings, Yumiko and I continued talking for a long time. She seems less uncertain than before. Her voice has regained something of its usual calm.
あの人のことを考えていたわ
Michikaki, Yumiko nods slightly against her
私
pillow.
はあの人のことを恨んでいる憎み続けているだけど怖いぐらいにあの人のことを何も知らないのよ
From what Yumiko says, the man known as Michikaki doesn't enjoy discussing his past in any detail. Any reader of economic magazines or websites can find an outline of his impression, academic background, and professional accomplishments. But there's virtually nothing to be found on the more personal aspects of his life. Even the sexual scandals Yumiko described have been largely scrubbed from the narrative for so little to be known about such a public figure suggests a concentrated effort to scare off or manipulate the media. All I found is a loose sketch of the man's personality, repeated again and again for the sake of expanding his corporate empire. Ichigaki will do absolutely anything. Wonder if something happened when he was younger. Human beings are shaped by their childhood experience more than anything else. Even Yumiko doesn't know much about that part of her father's life, but there must have been something that made him into the ruthless obsessive he is
勇
today.
者を信じてるでもあの人は今でもやっぱり怖い
Yumiko seems to shrink a little as she draws
大
close
丈
to
夫
me.
よねユージ
Of course, rest assured. Brace Yumiko with one arm. I run my hand through her hair and stroke her cheek. With a few minutes after her trembling finally dies down, a peaceful drowsiness settles over us again, both.
来たかね。
ええ、もう来る気はありませんでしたが、緊急にとのことでしたので。
風見裕二から連絡があった。
はい、その旨報告は受けております。
あの軍人上がり、生意気にも私を挑発してきた。由美子を返してほしければ、明日あの辺境の町へ来いとのことだ。
私どもの部下のやったこと、重ね重ねお詫びいたします。至急現地に赴きまして、
そんな猿芝居はもういいんだよ、アルデラさん。
私はこの一件に関与していないと何度も申し上げ、証拠も提出したはずですが。
あくまで白を切り通すか。まあいい。ひとまず明日が終わるまではおとなしくしてもらうぞ。おい、やれ。はい。
社長、どういうおつもりですか。これは私どもに対する不当な行為であり、拘束など。
無論、あなたの上司の許可は得ている。表向きは泊まりがけのご招待だ。後で何を言おうが遠慮なくもみ消す。あなた方が何を企んでいるのかは知らんが、こんなくだらない騒動で榊家の野望を費えさせるわけにはいかん。
I wouldn't call it
あの
pity.
軍人上がりは即刻排除し、由美子は返してもらう。
何のことをおっしゃっているのか分かりかねます。
軍人はどこまでも任務に忠実だな。その心があなたの部下にもあればよかったのだが。 何か連中と連絡を取るかもしれん。電波の届かない地下にでも閉じ込めておけ。
はい。
生きて帰れるだけマシだと思え。あの人ならば間違いなく存在ごと消していただろうからな。
By the time the morning light against my eyelids wakes me, Miko already gone out of bed and dressed herself. Noticing my stir, she turns back to face the bed.
ユージ、おはよう。
Her voice is clear and dignified. There's no hint of the weakness or fear from last night. It's as though she steeled herself for what's coming. Yeah, morning. I roll out of bed and quickly begin my own preparations. A little while later, everyone's gathered in the lobby just as we arranged yesterday evening. There's 1 hour before our appointment with Michikaki. Time we'll use to make a few final preparations.
そろそろ時間ね。マキナ、裏口はしっかり固めた？サッチンと一緒に厳重に固めたのよさ。もし侵入者があってもすぐにわかるようにはしてあります。
Well, this isn't going to be a siege battle, but it never hurts to cover all your bases. Stay on your toes. How's it going on your end, Sachi? Sachi responds without taking her eyes off the screen of her
大丈
laptop.
夫です。予定通り臨時株主総会は開催されるようです。
At a glance, there's nothing odd visible from the video feed at the conference room she's monitoring. Okay, now we just wait for the villain to make his entrance. Forming my right hand into a fist, I lightly smack it into my laptop palm. Okay. Almost as if someone's taking their cue. The sound of running footsteps approach from outside the door.
来たわよ！なんかすごい大勢で来てる！
She returned from her patrol. Mitru burst into the lobby in a state of obvious
じゃあ、行ってくる。
consideration. Miko, who had been sitting on the sofa in silence throughout our meeting, rises gallantly to her feet. With the wash concern in their eyes, she slowly opens the door and heads outside. I follow quickly in her wake. An extraordinary spectacle greets us. Specifically, an absolute swarm of jet black cars, reminiscent of that parent-teacher conference visit, but on a far greater scale. I count more than 10 vehicles at a glance. Hard-faced men in black suits who could easily pass for gangsters form a solid row in front of their cars. The dorm's entirely surrounded. The unbroken ring of vehicles and men stretch around the building at a distance of maybe 10 meters. Clearly not interested in letting us get away this time. Probably our only natural, given his long pursuit and the insult I delivered last night. But above all else, I think this display of force is the product of Michiki's sheer stubborn tenacity. The rear door of the car, stopped directly in front of us, swings open, with an extremely deliberate movement of a single man emerged. It's under gray man, dressed in a conservative charcoal suit. His glares are sharp as a knife and significantly less friendly. It's Miko's father, Michikaki.
まさか予告通りバカ正直にここにいるとはな。
The first words of his mouth are a toneless expression of surprise. As he looks over his daughter, the concerns of Michikaki's mouth jerk up slightly into something resembling a
久
smirk.
しぶりだな。少し痩せたんじゃないのか。
ええ。突然襲われたり、海外に連れ去られそうになったり、必要に追われたりしたから。きっとそのせいだわ。
は誰のためを思ってやったことなのか分かろうともせずに。
Ichigaki's scornful expression gives way with disconcerting smoothness to a gentle
な
smile.
あユミコ、今ならばまだ許してやる。最後の慈悲だ。お前が私のもとへ戻ってくれば、その男は許してやろうじゃないか。
There's no way I can end this session at this point.
泣いて許しを超え、お父さんごめんなさいと謝罪しろ。そうすれば全て丸く収まるんだ。さあ早く。
嘘よ。
父親を信じられないのか。
父親だなんて。あなたを父と思ったことなんて、あの裏切られた日以来一度だってなかったわよ。
Yumiko's voice quivers with rage. The teeth go finally audible. Squeezes spiteful words out of her throat and fires them at Michiga's like arrows.
こうしてあなたの前に立ったのは娘として戻るわけでも泣いて許しを請うわけでもないわ。
おお、何のためだと言うんだ。
As the wind blows across the yard, kicking up a swirl cloud of sand. For just a moment, it hides Michiga's from view, and then when he appears again, Yumiko's tightly pursed lips open.
あなたと決別するためよ。
Ichigaki doesn't even flinch, but Yumiko presses on regardless, her eyes slightly cast, letting the anger she kept inside flow freely
ず
out
っ
of
と
her.
孤独なんだ。あなたから捨てられ何もない時間を過ごし、一方的に呼び戻されて裏切られた。私にとっては家族なんて存在しないも同然だった。一方的に放り込まれたこの学園でも私は囚人同然の生活を押し付けられた。誰とも話さず何も考えられず。けど
Yumiko turns back, her gaze lingers on me and Sachi, and turns to the dorm where our other classmates are waiting. I've never seen such a peaceful smile on her face
ここに
before.
は同じような傷を負った子たちがいたわ。すぐには無理だったけど、少しずつゆっくりと話していくことができた。そしてユージが来た。ユージもまたいろんなことを私に教えてくれた。
Even though we're no more human, normal of a normal human
人間
being.
にしてくれた。
Sorry, I'm interrupting her speak. With a flutter of her hair, she spins back to face Michigaki once more.
なのに、あなたはそれすらもまた奪おうとした。私には空想のものばかりを与え、心の通ったものは何一つとして与えようとも、持つことも許さなかった。でも、もう私は言いなりにはならない。自分の口で喋って、自分の手足で動いて、あなたの人形になんかなり下がらない。あなたはたくさんのものを壊して、潰してきたの。お母さんだって裏切ってボロボロにした。
Yumiko's eyes open wide and fierce glare, her teeth snap together more loudly
あ
than
なたみたい
before.
な感情のない機械なんかに父親だなんて言われたくなんかないのよ。
生意気な口を叩くな。
A harsh bellow cuts through the air. For a moment, Yumiko
お
flinches
前
back.
のような子供に何がわかる。
Michigaki takes a firm step towards us. He speaks in a voice so low it seems to rise up from the ground underneath his leather
父
shoes.
から受け継いだ大逃避を小娘のわがままで潰すわけにはいかんのだ。ゴミのような周りの企業を掌握し、傀儡を増やし、いつかは国をも買う。それこそが父の夢であり、父と同じである私の夢だ。